welcome back to the deep dive. You know, there's this deep-seated human fascination with the unknown, right? That sort of primal pull towards ghost stories, towards the edge.
Absolutely. It's almost universal.
Well, that's exactly what we're plunging into today. We've got excerpts from a YouTube video transcript called Echoes of the Forgotten. It's from a channel, Demon Draven Ravenscroft, and it claims to be a true account. Yeah, an urban exploration that went, well, profoundly wrong in a supposedly very haunted place.
And these scenarios, they're fascinating because fear, it's triggered externally, sure, but its real power is psychological. When people choose to go into these places, especially as a group,
Right.
you see these incredible dynamics. Skepticism bumps right up against genuine belief.
Right.
Bravado gets tested. Even how people perceive reality can start to shift.
That's such a key point. It really lifts this beyond just like a spooky story. It becomes a deep dive into us, into human behavior. So our mission here isn't just retelling the tale. We want to really unpack the layers of this whole experience. You know, from that initial excitement, the thrill-seeking aspect.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
All the way to the chilling reality of what actually happened. And maybe what that shows us about how people react when things get genuinely inexplicable. We'll look at how the different characters responded, those subtle details in the source that just crank up the dread.
And Ravenscroft, based on this transcript, seems to use those subtle details really effectively. The quiet sounds, the shadows. Sometimes that's much more unnerving than, a big jump scare.
Right, it gets in your head.
It does. It lets your own imagination do the heavy lifting, which can be way more terrifying for the people involved and, well, for us listening to.
Okay, with that sort of psychological framework set, let's get into the specifics from Echoes of the Forgotten. It all starts, apparently, way out on the remote edges of a place called Black Hollow. Picture this. Constant fog, these crooked, kind of skeletal-looking trees all around. And right there, looming, is Delacroy Manor. Once grand, the transcript says, but definitely not anymore.
Right. Time takes its toll.
Yeah, Ravenscroft describes this decrepit facade, just casting this big, dark shadow, a real magnet for, thrill seekers and urban explorers.
And that location itself, Delacroy Manor, it's almost like another character in the story, isn't it? It's not just some random empty house.
How so?
Well, it comes with this built-in reputation. The transcript mentions these tales of its haunted past being whispered around locally, even in nearby towns. Stories about people fleeing in terror before.
Okay. So it's already primed.
Exactly. That reputation acts like this psychological lure. It warns people off, but it also kind of dares them to come closer. It sets up expectations, which is a huge part of how fear works.
Sets the stage perfectly for the kind of people who'd be drawn to it. Which brings us to the group, 5 friends. The source says they were drawn by the charm of adventure, wanting to check out these creepy stories.
The classic setup.
Yeah. So first up, there's Max. He's called the unofficial leader. Really into the supernatural, apparently armed with conspiracy theories and ghost hunting gadgets.
Right, the gear.
And later, we find out he has a voice recorder, probably for EVP, electronic voice phenomena. That idea that spirits can leave voices on recordings. Big thing in ghost hunting circles.
Common tool, yeah. Then you've got Lisa, who's Max's girlfriend. She starts off skeptical, but still intrigued, which is a dynamic you see a lot. One person's enthusiasm kind of pulls the other along.
Yeah.
We'll see how her skepticism holds up later. Hint, not well. It turns into real panic.
Okay. Then there's Greg. He's the joker of the group. Also skeptical, but the transcript suggests he's maybe more focused on impressing Sarah.
Ah, the social dynamics.
Right. And Sarah, she apparently has an affinity for the eerie and ethereal. She's got the camera, always filming. Her eyes are described as glinting with excitement and dread. She's the one documenting it all.
The observer.
And finally, Jake. He's described as the most cautious one. Really just came along for support. But the source says there was a clear hint of dread gracing his features right from the start. You kind of feel his hesitation.
And see, Ravenscroft sets this up brilliantly. These aren't just random people. They represent different ways of coping, different biases almost. Max is maybe looking for confirmation.
Yeah.
Lisa's open but hesitant. Greg's maybe performing a bit. Sarah's observing, maybe a bit detached at first. And Jake's got that gut feeling, that self-preservation instinct kicking in early.
Understanding those differences seems key to what happens next.
Absolutely. It's the fault lines where things start to crack under pressure.
So the transcript says it was one crisp autumn evening they decided to go in, armed with flashlights and snacks.
Hey.
Always need snacks.
Right. Got to keep your energy up for the terror. Initially, there's laughter as they approach the house, this looming silhouette. But that fades fast. Ravenscroft uses this really vivid language. The manor's windows gaped open like hungry mouths.
Ooh, creepy. And the wind whispers an unsettling welcome. What does that kind of writing, that personification, do?
It's super effective for building dread. It makes the house feel active, malevolent even, not just bricks and mortar, but something watching, waiting. It primes you psychologically, makes the building itself feel like part of the threat.
Yeah, I get that. So they cross the threshold. Door creaks ominously. They exchange nervous glances. Inside, stale air, heavy, this eerie stillness. Dust is dancing in their flashlight beams.
Classic haunted house atmosphere, neglect made visible.
They spot a grand chandelier hung precariously, crystals all dull. Sarah, the documentarian, suggests setting up camp in the living room, cameras rolling. They clear off a threadbare couch. And the source says right then, the atmosphere thickened like an impending storm.
Even before anything truly weird happens, that sense of decay, of just wrongness starts to build. And them trying to make it normal, like clearing a couch, it creates this false sense of control. It makes the eventual break from reality feel even sharper, more jarring. It's like trying to tidy up during an earthquake.
That's a good analogy. So, the first few hours, they're sharing ghost stories, laughing nervously at the normal creaks and groans of an old house. Greg, being the Joker, tells the story of the Lady in White.
The local legend.
Yeah, this ghost supposedly wandering the halls, looking for her lost love. But while they're doing this, Jake's already on edge. Glued to the door, the transcript says, eyeing the shadows.
His instincts are screaming already.
Seems like it. As true darkness falls, wraps around the manor, they start testing their gadgets. The source says this thrill of the unknown surged through them like an electric current. Max gets out his voice recorder, hoping for spirit voices.
Right.
Sarah's filming everything, still with that mix of excitement and dread.
This is that crucial moment, right? There's still excitement, maybe some denial for some of them. Max really seems to believe they're about to capture something amazing. But then the mood shifts.
Yeah, the transcript says, as the witching hour approached, the atmosphere changed. The merriment fading like the last light of day. It wasn't fun anymore.
And then comes the first real undeniable event.
This feels like the big turning point in the story, doesn't it? That shift is broken by.
Yeah.
A crash resonated from the kitchen.
Ah, there it is.
Hesitantly, they grab their flashlights and go check it out. And what they find is just chaos. Chairs flipped over, dishes smashed everywhere.
Yeah.
And the source adds, all apparently self-inflicted.
Okay, that's different. Before, you could maybe explain away sounds, imagination, old pipes, whatever.
Right.
But a trashed kitchen, shattered plates, that crosses a line. It's physical evidence that's hard to rationalize away. And Jake's reaction shows that.
Yeah, he lingered further back, clutching his arms, terrified. And he actually says, this ain't right, guys. Let's just go.
His fight or flight is fully activated now. Primal fear.
But Max, he just dismisses it, waves his recorder like it's proof, like a trophy.
Yeah.
Totally oblivious, or maybe just unwilling to see Jake's fear. He actually says, go and miss this. The spirits are just getting started.
Wow. Talk about confirmation bias. He's seeing what he wants to see.
It makes you wonder, how much of what happens next is because they ignored those clear signs, ignored Jake?
It's a huge factor. That's groupthink, maybe a bit of sunk cost fallacy, too. They're invested now. Turning back feels like failure, even when staying is clearly dangerous. Max is doubling down on his reality.
So they don't leave. They dress on. But the source says, with each passing hour, tension mounted. Shadows are twisting unnaturally. Corners seem darker. Whispers seem to flit through the air.
The psychological pressure is ramping up.
And then they make the decision to explore upstairs, where, as the source puts it, the realm of the supernatural felt tangible, begging for acknowledgement.
Deeper into the lion's den. It's almost inevitable, narratively speaking. Going deeper into the house is like going deeper into their own fear.
The floorboards groan under them as they go up the stairs. In the corridor, a series of doors, each one appearing more sinister than the last.
Choices. All bad, probably.
They pick the first door on the left. Inside, an opulent but totally decayed bedroom. Dusty silk drapes, an old vanity reflecting their lights in twisted forms.
Very gothic.
And Sarah, still filming, points to the closet. Her heart's racing. She says, check this out. It's like the perfect place for a ghost to hide.
Famous last words, almost. The classic setup.
Exactly. And just as they step closer to that closet, bam, the climax hits. The source says the door slammed behind them with a thunderous crack.
Oh boy, locked in.
Totally. Laughter instantly turns to panic. They scramble for the door, but it's locked tight. Lisa just screams, "Max, do something!" Voice rising, totally panicked.
Understandably.
Max tries the handle, jiggles it. Nothing.
And then it gets worse.
Oh, yeah. Layered horror sounds. Another crash reverberating through the manor, followed by this low, sorrowful wail.
A whale! Ugh, that's deeply unsettling.
They just freeze,
Yeah.
staring at each other, wide-eyed. The transcript says the audible despair seemed to close in around them, and the walls themselves whispering secrets they might never unveil.
So now it's not just psychological tension, it's undeniable events, plus these terrifying sounds trapping them. The fear is external now, inescapable.
And this is where Jake, the cautious one, the one who wanted out ages ago,
Mm-hmm.
he steps up. He says, "Let me try." Steps back, takes a breath, focuses,
Okay.
and just shoves the door with everything he's got. The handle rattles, and it gives way.
Wow. Relief. But what a moment.
A desperate, visceral moment. He got them out of that immediate trap.
It's fascinating, isn't it? The person who is most turned into the danger, most advocating for leaving,
Yeah.
is the one who finds that raw physical strength to act when things get truly desperate. It's not Max, the leader with the gear. It's Jake, running on pure instinct. His caution wasn't cowardice, it was realism. And that realism translates into decisive action when the chips are down.
So we've walked through this account from Echoes of the Forgotten. We saw the 5 friends go into Delacroy Manor, full of that initial kind of naive excitement.
Snacks included.
And we follow them as the tension just ramped up relentlessly, culminating in being locked in that terrifying room, hearing those awful sounds. We saw Max's belief almost blinding him.
Right.
Lisadis's journey from skepticism to outright panic, Greg's jokes drying up, Sarah documenting it all until even she's gripped by dread, and Jake's quiet fear proving maybe the most rational response all along.
It really does highlight how these extreme situations test everything. Belief systems collide. Max wanting validation, Jake wanting survival when faced with something he can't explain but knows is dangerous. And it shows how group dynamics can just shatter under that kind of pressure. Rational thought goes out the window for some, and pure, maybe primal responses take over. And sometimes, like with Jake, the one who seemed most afraid initially has the clearest head for decisive action when it truly matters. Caution becomes courage.
It really does. Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder. Jake forcing that door open. It's clearly an act of courage born from desperation. But thinking about Echoes of the Forgotten, what does that specific moment truly reveal about our breaking point? That primal threshold where rationality just collapses and maybe only raw instinct can punch through overwhelming, inexplicable terror?